Welcome, everybody, to BEARS. And in case you're wondering what that stands for, it's the Berkeley EECS Annual Research Symposium. Just a complete coincidence. Okay. So I'm Jim Demmel. I'm the chair of EECS. This is Jeff Boker, the EE Division Chair. And before we get on to the main theme, I just wanted to give you a very short overview of the state of the department and, of course, brag a little bit. So here are the folks. If something goes wrong, feel free to ask us. Hopefully it will all be a nice, smooth day. And thanks very much to our predecessors, Jitendra and Jan Rabai. So just to give you some numbers to say how much we've grown, we have about 100 faculty members, these are all by far the largest organizations on campus, and lots of active emeriti, professors and residents and so forth. The last time this slide went up last year, I think we only had 650 graduate students, so we have a lot more now. We're growing quite quickly, and that includes both masters and PhDs. And we now have officially the two largest majors on campus. That's EECS and Letters and Science, CS. And we're about to start a new major in data science, and it's about to be approved by the campus. And so maybe we'll grow to the three largest majors on campus, because the freshman prereq, which we started for that a couple of years ago, has now grown to 1,000 students per semester. So rankings, of course, just to let you know, we're still doing very well. Let me start with the undergraduate programs. And it's interesting that we're ranked number 2 in computer engineering, because we don't have officially a computer engineering program. But somehow the US News and World Report still manages to construct one from all of our ratings and put that together. And at the graduate level, we're doing fine too. And depending on which ranking you want to believe in, we're in the usual top 3. And so we're very proud of that. But why are we doing so well? It's in large measure because of our wonderful faculty. So let me just brag about that a little bit. So these are some recent awards that happened. So the ones actually in red are the ones that happened within the last year, 18 months or so. Now, I've colored Shafi Goldwasser red, even though she won the Turing Award back in 2012, because she just joined our faculty. And so we're very glad that she's joined us. And here's some other recent awards. And so some of these you heard about last year. For example, Tsu-Jae King Liu and Kathy Yellick were elected to the National Academy of Engineering. And Kathy was also in the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, the top 35 for Anka Dragan, many others. But one of the nice things you get to do in this business as chair is announce new awards. So yesterday, we got to announce one new award, which was Connie Chang Hasnain, was elected to the National Academy of Engineering yesterday. So we're continuing our nice roll on this. So here are the new faculty that we've hired who are arriving. As I mentioned, Shafi Goldwasser, my classmate from back in the early 80s, just joined us. She's the new head of the Simons Institute. Moritz Hart in machine learning. Jennifer Listgarten, who's in EECS, but a computational biologist and has a joint affiliation with there, applying machine learning to CRISPR to edit your genes. Robert Palawa Podgorski in energy. Jonathan Roggen-Kelly in high-performance computing and programming languages and things like that. And then Nir Shavit will also be joining us in the fall. So you're going to hear a lot about all our new research centers and hubs today. That's, after all, what this area is about. There's a bunch of activity in computer science, a bunch of activity in electrical engineering. And here's just a short list, and you'll hear about some of these today. And of course, in the afternoon, some of these will be having open houses where you'll get to go and talk to the students and the faculty and so forth. So for example, ADEPT is about agile design of hardware, so end of Moore's Law, which is today's theme. What does that mean? That means you have to much more quickly and efficiently be able to design hardware, and there are tools and work for that. Then there's the Better Center, which is about materials, processes, and devices, and that's also motivated by the end of Moore's Law. AI is a big thing. That was the theme of last year's BEARS Symposium, but it's also growing rapidly, and lots of new faculty in there. Computational imaging continues as before. We, I think, just acquired one of the world's largest MRI machines in terms of 7 Tesla. Is that right? So we will be generating the highest density images anywhere in the world for inside of people, and that create a lot of images to do. And then there's the RISE Lab, which is the follow-on for the AMP Lab, which is where Spark and many other widely used tools came from, and that's continuing too. So that's a quick overview. And so now we would like to go on to Alumni Awards.
Go ahead.
Okay. So we're going to begin with the Distinguished Alumni Award winners. This year we have several. I just want to give you a little background on this. So we're going to present the 2018 Distinguished Alumni Awards in Electrical Engineering and Computer Sciences. These were established in 1991 to honor our most esteemed and accomplished alumnus and alumna from industry and academia. Since then, we've had the privilege of adding over 90 individuals to the ranks of our distinguished alumni. Today, we're honoring 4 of the EECS department's most outstanding former students as this year's distinguished alumni. And we will talk about them one at a time, but let me just say who they are. They are Professor Marie desJardins, Professor Andrea Goldsmith, Professor Emeritus Eric Brewer, and Richard Ruby. And we're delighted to have them with us today. So let us begin with Marie desJardins.
Right there.
Yes. So we will begin by honoring Professor Marie desJardins. Marie received her A.B. magna cum laude in Engineering and Computer Science from Harvard in 1985, followed by her Ph.D. in Computer Science here at UC Berkeley in 1992. Her advisor was Professor Stuart Russell, who is unfortunately unable to join us today. After earning her Ph.D. at Berkeley, Professor desJardins spent a decade at SRI International, where she was a senior computer scientist in the Artificial Intelligence Center. She joined the faculty of the University of Maryland, Baltimore County in 2001, where she's currently a professor of computer science and electrical engineering and associate dean for academic affairs in the College of Engineering and Information Technology. Professor desJardins is renowned as a research scientist, a scholar, an educator, and a passionate advocate for women in computer science. In her 17 years at UMBC, Professor desJardins has come to be seen in her department at the university, nationally and internationally, as a champion of women in diversity in AI and computing. She's also been actively engaged in mentoring junior faculty through her work with such faculty groups such as UMBC's Women in Science and Engineering, WICSE, providing guidance, support, and feedback to female junior faculty. She's also won numerous prestigious recognitions for her teaching, mentoring, and advocacy, including the CRAE Undergraduate Research Faculty Mentoring Award, an American Council on Education Fellowship, the National Center for Women in Information Technology Undergraduate Research Mentoring Award, and most recently, the 2017 Athena Academic Leadership Award, and the 2017 Richard Newton Educator ABIE Award. We're delighted to name her as one of our 2018 EECS Distinguished Alumni. So, I would like to ask Marie to come forward. We are honoring Marie desJardins for distinguished research and teaching, innovations in pre-college computer science curricula, and effective mentoring of students and junior faculty.
I don't have a long speech. I don't have any prepared remarks, but I just wanted to thank everybody here for all the support that they gave me. I was very closely involved with the Women in Computer Science and Engineering, WICSE, organization here. I was president at one point. I helped to found the Big Sisters program, and that was really what got me started thinking about diversity issues and supporting women and underrepresented groups, and I've been committed to that ever since, and my work here really helped to prepare me to do that. So thank you for this award, and thanks everybody.
So it's my honor to make the next award to Professor Andrea Goldsmith. Andrea received she's a triple threat, received her BS, MS, and PhD in EECS here at Berkeley in 1986, 91, and 94, respectively. Her advisor, Professor Emeritus Praveen Varaya, who is also here with us today. After earning her PhD at Berkeley, Professor Goldsmith worked at Caltech, Maxim Technologies, MemoryLink Corporation, and AT&T Bell Laboratories. Andrea is also the co-founder of Plume Wi-Fi and Quantenna and serves on the corporate or technical advisory boards of Crown Castle, Inc., InterDigital Corporation, Sequens, Quantenna, and Cohere. She joined the faculty at Stanford University in 1999, where she is currently the Stephen Harris Professor in the School of Engineering. I have to admit, I myself am a graduate of Stanford University, and Stephen Harris was one of my great mentors there. Professor Goldsmith is renowned for her research in the design, analysis, and fundamental performance limits of wireless systems and networks, as well as for her work in the application of communication theory and signal processing to neuroscience. In addition to her prolific and influential research, she has been a persistent advocate for increasing diversity in STEM, serving in numerous leadership roles in the IEEE and in industrial groups with the goal of advancing women and underrepresented minorities in the field. She's received many honors in recognition of her accomplishments, including a Gilbreth Lectureship from the National Academy of Engineering, a Technical Achievement Award in Communication Theory, and Edwin H. Armstrong Achievement Award from the IEEE Communication Society. Most recently, membership in both the National Academy of Engineering and the American Academy of Arts and Sciences in 2017. We are delighted to name her as one of our 2018 EECS Distinguished Alumna. We're honoring Andrea for excellence in research and teaching and for tireless commitment to the advancement of women in the profession.
I didn't prepare a speech, much to the happiness probably of my husband, because I go on and on when I prepare speeches. But this award means a lot to me. Berkeley means a lot to me. I got all my degrees here, all of my education from my early days in 1989, trudging up the hills, wondering whether I should study engineering at all because there were no women and I wasn't doing very well, and taking really hard classes, and a lot of that shaped me. I like to say, failing early and often is a good thing, and the School of Hard Knocks of Cal was a good thing and a good way to start my education. I also paid my own way through college, and I would not have been able to do that if I'd not attended a public school like Cal and gotten such an amazing education through it. I came back in 1989 not knowing if I should get a PhD. Praveen took a chance on me. I was not the textbook case of who would make a fantastic researcher or a PhD student, but he saw something. He took a chance to take me on as his advisee, and I had just an amazing graduate educational experience here, not only from all the faculty members, and I see, people that taught me in my classes, people that I interacted with around research, and just the faculty members here, the caliber of excellence of Cal, the ability to do this as a public university is truly amazing, and I'm very grateful to Berkeley for the education it gave me, for the education it gives to all the students that are fortunate enough to come here. And so this being a distinguished alumni of a place that I love so much and that I believe has such a huge impact on California and on the country and on the world is really a great honor. So thank you very much.
So next, we will honor Professor Emeritus Eric Brewer. Eric earned his bachelor's in electrical engineering and computer science from UC Berkeley with high honors in 1989, going on to earn his PhD from MIT in 1994. That same year, he returned to UC Berkeley, this time to join the EECS faculty. In 1996, he co-founded Inktomy Corporation with a Berkeley grad student based on their research prototype and helped lead it into a NASDAQ 100 before it was bought by Yahoo in March 2003. Inktomy technology remains at the heart of Yahoo's search service today. He joined Google in 2014, where he is currently serving as Vice President of Infrastructure. Eric Brewer is a visionary leader in his field, with contributions ranging from the foundations of massive global infrastructure, colloquially known as cloud computing, to custom technologies bringing computing and communications infrastructure to the developing world. He first formulated his famous CAP theorem in 2000, revolutionizing massive-scale computing with impacts still felt today in the new generation of scalable database systems. These systems, called NoSQL, have served a large fraction of the world's database lookups over the last decade and generated a multi-billion-dollar market segment. Even more recently, Eric co-designed the Kubernetes open-source framework for orchestrating software containers in the cloud, developed at Google and announced in 2014. It is currently the most active project on the web-based source code repository hosting service GitHub. Eric Brewer has received some of the highest honors in the field, including membership in the National Academy of Engineering, the ACM SIGOPS Mark Weiser Award, given to the top mid-career researcher in operating systems, and the ACM Infosys Foundation Award, now known as the ACM Prize in Computing, also given to the top mid-career scientist. We are excited to name him as one of our 2018 EECS Distinguished Alumni. So, Eric, if you could come forward, we are honoring Eric for research and industrial leadership in scalable distributed systems used by millions of people daily.
So I got to Berkeley at the fall of 1985, planning to be an astronaut. Somewhat seriously, actually. I was thinking I'd be an astronaut, mission specialist. And I was in the elevator in Evans Hall in 1987 when the Challenger crashed. Well, actually, sorry. I was in the elevator when I found out that the Challenger had crashed, essentially ending the manned space program for at least a while. And so that was a bit devastating. It led to two things, though, that were interesting. I ended up building a life-size model of the cockpit of the Challenger up at Lawrence Hill of Science. That was a fun project. But then I also said, gosh, this computer science stuff is kind of cool, and I really like Berkeley. Maybe I'll be a faculty member instead. And so it came to be. Thank you very much.
So finally, we honor Richard Ruby. Richard earned his PhD from UC Berkeley in ECS in 1984 under the supervision of Professor Ted Van Duzer, subsequently joining HP Labs. In 1993, he began researching what is known as FBAR, which stands for Freestanding Bulk Acoustic Resonator technology, as a means to making high-Q, ultra-miniature filters for RF applications. And if you don't know about FBAR, you probably have one. He joined Agilent, a spin-off of HP, in 1999, working for the wireless semiconductor division, which would eventually become the company known today as, or became known as, Avago Technologies. Although promising in the early 1980s, FBAR technology had been largely abandoned by the end of the decade. Richard Ruby's research and development addressed the issues that had held this revolutionary technology at bay. He developed FBAR technology into a practical device by using a different piezoelectric material, aluminum nitride, different electrodes, and a surface micromachine process to create the freestanding membrane. Thanks to his work with fellow Avago Technologies researchers John Larson and Paul Bradley, Richard Ruby had made the thin, powerful smartphones that we all know and love possible. Thanks is due to Richard Ruby and FBAR duplexers for the rapid shrinking of cell phones since they were first sold in 2000. Over 1 billion FBAR filters have been sold since then. Richard has received the prestigious Industrial Physics Prize from the American Institute of Physics, the AIP, along with his colleagues John Larson and Paul Bradley, in recognition of his monumental work. We are delighted to name him as one of our 2018 EECS Distinguished Alumni, honoring him for inventions and groundbreaking technology advancement in FBARs, making possible the remarkable success of smartphones and miniature communications links. So if you please come forward, Richard.
First of all, wow, what an honor to stand next to my peers here. I wish my daughter could meet you too. Really, she needs to talk to you. Just a minor correction, a couple minor corrections. We crossed 1 billion parts many years ago. We do about 5 to 6 billion a year now. iPhones have about 20 plus filters in them, FBAR. Samsung Galaxy phones, same amount. At one point, almost every phone in the world had FBAR in it. I do remember the time when I actually, the first phone that came out was a Sanyo Slim phone. It was a revolutionary phone because it was so small, because the duplexers were the size of your fingers. And I remember it making a complete fool out of myself, stopping strangers at an airport, asking them every aspect of the phone and how well they liked it. Yes. Thank you so much.
Yes. Oh, no, we have one more. Yeah.
That's it.
So where's the next?
Okay.
You're going to
Yes,
read that.
right.
Use the other speakers on the other side. Okay, good.
We have one more award to give, which I hope is a surprise to everyone in the room. There's a prize called the Berkeley Citation, and it's awarded to distinguished individuals or organizations whose contributions to UC Berkeley go beyond the call of duty and whose achievements exceed the standards of excellence in their fields. They are chosen confidentially by a committee with the chancellor chairing it to pick the best people on campus. I'm very proud to say that 22 of our Berkeley alumni and faculty have won this award in the past. Going back to, let's see, the first several winners are here. I think David Hodges is here and Chen Ming is here, and I'm probably missing a few people. So I'm delighted to say we have another one today, Edward Lee.
So congratulations, Edward. Do we have a... He looks surprised. He looks surprised.
I'm in shock. I did not expect this.
Okay.
Holy cow.
I have some words, and then you can say some words, Edward. So let me tell you about Edward Lee. The first thing to know about Edward Lee is that his name is Edward, not Ed. Edward began his career at Berkeley as a doctoral student, obtaining his PhD in 1986 and joining the faculty that very same year. His research is an unbroken string of accomplishments in theorizing, prototyping, and demonstrating new and better ways to cope with the scale, complexity, concurrency, real-time constraints, and heterogeneity of our interconnected systems. In the process, he's become a thought leader and proponent of cyber-physical systems as an opportunity to address many societal challenges and to create new opportunities for the benefit of humanity. He has also been a leader within our department, enthusiastically embracing department responsibilities. He provided 5 years of faculty leadership for the large team that provides the information technology infrastructure to the department, which has a vital impact on our teaching and research mission and has a pretty high visibility in the EECS department, as you can imagine. He subsequently served as associate chair and then chair of the department for a combined period of 4 years. During those 4 years, Edward provided leadership and coordination in the hiring of 20 new faculty members, or about 20% of today's total. In addition, Edward managed to oversee substantial upgrades in our 65-year-old Corey Hall, notwithstanding a tight financial budget. The impact of these contributions to our department cannot be overstated. As an educator, Edward has demonstrated his qualities as a leader and innovator in the service of a broader mission. He has been an instigator and a leader in the evolution of curricula at Berkeley, as well as nationally and internationally, co-authoring 8 books and contributing chapters to 18 more. Recognizing his contributions to education, Professor Lee received a prestigious Frederick Emmons Terman Award for Engineering Education in 1997. Edward has always had an unusually broad perspective for those of our field and is very thoughtful as to the deeper implications of the technologies and systems that we are pursuing and how they can benefit humanity. In his latest book, Plato and the Nerd, The Creative Partnership of Humans and Technology, published by MIT Press last year, he makes the bold claim that digital technology has become an unsurpassed medium for creativity. Explaining why digital technology in particular has been so transformative and so liberating, Edward argues that the real power of technology stems from its partnership with humans. And it is critically important that this aspect be fully embraced by those creating the technology, but also by other disciplines in a position to influence the societal implications. Edward Lee's influence on academia and industry has been profound, as has his service to our department, our campus, and the broader discourse around humanity and our relationship with technology. He's eminently deserving of the Berkeley Citation, and we're extremely proud to present him with this award.
I am completely in shock. I don't have anything, I have no words for this. I'm sorry, except that it is an incredible honor, and it's an honor to be such a part of this wonderful institution. Thank you very much.
We got you. We got you. All right. Okay. Well, that was exciting.